What's up?
Yo. Hey, man, I heard you have a show. When is it?
All of the information is on the website and on the flyer and on the event on Facebook. And I texted it to you.
Sorry, bro. I was just busy, man. I couldn't really read your text. You know, I want to come out and everything, but, like, can you put me on the list?
Yeah, I don't know, man. The list is kind of full.
I need, like, 5 tickets.
I'll see what I can do, but I don't know, man. It's not looking good. You should probably buy a ticket and support.
But I'm kind of broke right now, man. Come on, bro. What about that time that I hooked you up? Got you the thing that you wanted?
Yeah. No, I remember. I remember that one time 25 years ago. Bye. Sick and tired of all these people claiming that they're there to support your band or support your event or come out to your birthday or even care about who you are or what you're doing in your life. Me too. That's why I got rid of all of them. And now I only hang out with people that support me. Get rid of all those friends that don't support you and get something that does, like Sheath Underwear. It's the most comfortable underwear in the world. The men's pair comes with a pouch for your boys. It gives you this incredible support. Go to sheathunderwear.com, use my promo code RRBG, and save 20%, and say goodbye to all of those make-believe friends that don't support you or your band, or never click on the RSVP on that event on Facebook. Go to sheathunderwear.com. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the RRBG podcast. I'm here with Mikkey Dee. Drummer extraordinaire, rock and roll legend, I would say at this point. Yeah,
I don't know about that, but yeah, I've been playing for a few years.
You've been playing for a few years. I mean, you're most known for your work with Motorhead. You were in Motorhead for over 20 years.
Yeah, 25 years almost.
25 years. I got my Lemmy shirt on.
Oh yeah, there we go.
I was told that Motorhead's putting out a live in Berlin album, Louder Than Noise.
Yes.
So how was that? What made you guys decide to put that specific live show out? What made it so important, so special?
Well, we've been recording a lot over the years, a lot of shows, and this was just one of a lot of great shows, obviously, but I was particularly surprised over the set list we did when I was looking back to what songs we were playing that night, and I really I was actually surprised. I kind of forgot what we did, but there's some songs that we didn't play very often, either before or after that show or that tour, I would say. So I thought it was a great show. It's really a good show, and yeah, I remember the show, and a lot of energy, the sound, everything was okay to work with, So yeah,
I read it's one of the biggest turnouts, 12,000 plus, something like that.
Well, in Germany, we did so many shows every fall. We could do 20 shows. So that was obviously maybe 5,000 to 8,000 seaters. But if we would have done 6-7 shows in Germany, they would all be big shows. But we did almost like 20 shows every fall, a lot of shows in the summer. So, but that was one big one in Berlin. So very special.
Right. And it's coming out. Is it just vinyl? Is it just audio? Is there also video? Because I saw a clip of one of the songs, but I don't know if it's going to be released as a full concert DVD or Blu-ray or something like that.
It'll be. It'll be a DVD. It'll be a DVD. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and this is. I know that before Lemmy's passing, you guys were touring pretty much right up to it, right? Like he wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Slowing down at all.
Berlin was actually the last show we did, the 11th of December, and Lemmy passed away the 28th. He was just. He was going to be on stage the whole time. I remember me and Phil, we were actually telling Lem that maybe we should call it a day, not call it a day, but go back to LA and rest, because we did a pretty tough tour there, and but Lemmy was the guy that wanted to keep going.
Yeah, I mean that's speaks to his legend. You know, everybody would say he was like there's that famous line from Airheads. You know, who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God? So it's like he is the god of rock and roll, if you would. And you know, what better way to go than to keep rocking until the as close as you possibly can, right?
Yeah, he died with his boots on. That's for sure.
And right now you're in Germany, right?
I'm right now in Germany. Yeah, I just got back from the studio, and yeah, we're working very hard here, wrapping up the recordings of the record, and we are in the beginning of mixing the songs. So
now, when you say the record, are you talking about like the Motorhead?
No.
This is Scorpions.
Record.
Scorpion Records. Okay.
Yeah. We've been working since early fall on this album, so and it's going to be a great record. It's all recorded live in the studio, and it's a good vibe. It's a harder record and great songs. So it's going to be great to get this one released.
And you've been in Scorpions since 2016. This is the first record you're recording, right? You're in a part of, right?
That's it.
How involved were you in terms of the writing process for the music? I mean, were these songs that they had already been working on, or is this all from scratch?
Yeah, both yes and no. You know, most of the stuff Rudolf, Klaus, Matthias has been writing, but then we've been putting it together in the studio together, kind of.
Okay.
But most of it's been written, yes, and well, we worked really hard, all five, on these tracks. So,
okay,
I'm looking forward to the release for sure.
So, I mean, during this time right now with this pandemic and everything shut down with no concerts and all of that, I mean, is there more patience in the studio of like, there's no rush to get it out just because, until there's live shows, touring cycles and all that, it's kind of, it feels like not a waste, but it just kind of feels weird to not be able to follow up an album with a tour, right?
Yeah, I guess the release of the record is going to have to be matched, somehow to when we can actually start touring. I mean, I had the hopes up that we will release this spring. That was the plan from the beginning, but as we were talking about that yesterday, and I've been telling magazines about us releasing in the spring, but it's not going to happen, I don't think, because it has to be matched to the touring, unless something completely crazy happens. But I would think in the fall or something like that, hopefully,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. According to the president of the United States, they're saying May now is going to be the time when everybody gets vaccines and then stuff starts opening up again. So maybe end of spring, summer is kind of like maybe a possibility at this point, I think.
Yeah. Well, see, it's impossible. You can only hope, It's like,
yeah.
I can't. I'm done speculating in this shit now because once you get a little bit of stream of hope, it's being shut down immediately. One day you hear this, next day you hear a completely opposite thing that, this fucking second wave, a third wave. Now they're talking about a fourth wave. I mean, come
mutations.
on, when it's gonna end, you know what I mean? And there's mutations from every fucking country in the world, If we're going to continue adapting after that, we can look, we're talking 15 years, you know what I mean? So I don't know. But I'm hopeful and yeah, I'm positive too that we're going to have to get back out here soon, because no matter what happens, I don't think you can keep the world shut down anymore. It's just the end. You know what I mean? It's like, I know the seriousness of this virus. I had it myself in March, exactly 1 year ago.
Wow.
I was influenza sick, thank gosh, but some people are not that lucky, of course, but most of the people are really the elderly people and people with underlying diseases that turn out to, get really, really sick. And then, of course, you have some exceptions with young, healthy people, of course. And I realized the seriousness of it. But, you know, the world's been shut down for 1 full year now.
Yep.
And that can just not continue like that. You know, it's a disaster in so many other ways than the virus. In that's how I see it. You know, it's very, very unfortunate. But we should be hoping that the vaccine would work. It's magic, I hope, and that we can go back to normalities pretty soon. You know, it's every human being on this planet all think in the same way, of course. But I'm hopeful.
Yeah, man. I mean, I myself was starting to get a little fatigued of being locked up at home. Like, at first I was like, you know what, this will give me time to work on some projects or something, like, okay, fine. But it's a year now since I've been to a show, and it's really, what's going to end up happening is, when you see it happening here in Los Angeles a lot, is just these underground shows, these illegal shows that are happening. And that's what's just going to keep happening. It's going to have that weird, like, speakeasy kind of vibe where, you're not supposed to tell people that there's a show, but people are going to start sneaking off into these underground shows,
That's exactly what's happening all over the world when it comes to all these restrictions, that people are actually finding different ways. And these ways are not controlled in any way, shape, or form. And it's just going to make matters a lot worse, So I don't know. But what the hell?
You're from Sweden. Do you live in Sweden?
Yes.
Okay, and so you live in Sweden. You're recording in Germany. Motorhead was as a British band, so you're spending a lot of time in Europe. And I wanted to know, kind of, just, is it the same? Does it seem the same as what's going on in the U.S. with the lockdowns and the way that they treat it?
No. We've been having a pretty tough fall and beginning of this year, but Sweden's actually been very open over the whole year. It's first now, the last couple of months, where they start to shut down a lot of stuff. But yeah, well, we'll see what happens. But overall, fuck Corona. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm sick of it.
Good. Yeah. Well, then, so after the Scorpions release, then, since you're almost done wrapping that up, hopefully, you guys talking about doing some kind of live stream, some kind of thing for the fans to, in case the shows don't happen?
Well, there's always options to do stuff. We're going to be busy with this record for another, I don't know, maybe a month or two.
Okay.
Well, a month and a half maybe. And then we'll see what happens. We are like you and the rest of the world, as I said. We just hope that positive news will flood the world here as soon as possible. And just at that moment, you can start making plans. I mean, we've been trying to make plans, and we have to shut them down. And then we move on with plan B, and that gets shut down. Then we move on with plan C, and that gets shut down. So, you just start to go, hey, listen, we're just going to sit in this fucking boat and let the wind take us where it's going. And first, when we can feel some solid ground here, that's when we can start making decisions for what to do, I suppose, because it's hopeless to speculate and to put up false hopes and shit, so
yeah.
I don't know. We were supposed to do Vegas in May as a residency with Scorpions, and that's of course put off, so, and I don't know when. No one knows when, but it's going to happen. But when, I don't know.
Yeah, that's like we were talking about. Like, that's been the conversation for a year. It's like, we don't know what's going on. We'll see what happens. But I wanted to ask you, I have it written down here. I know Motorhead was very involved with the WWE. I know where Lemmy was close with Triple H and did the song for him and everything. How much involvement was there for you in that whole thing? Like, were you there, writing music with for Triple H and all that? Yeah.
Yeah. When you talk about Motorhead, you talk about three people, not just Lemmy, just so you know. Because Lem was furious about that himself.
Okay.
He really hated being singled out. He said Motorhead is a band. Mm-hmm. And when we've been writing music, me and Phil Campbell been writing 12 records together, basically musically. And of course, Lemmy writing melodies and lyrics and of course music too. So by the end of each session, whatever we did, it's pretty much equal three people writing everything together. And that's why it became so strong. And that's why we became such a unity, and a unique band. It was just not one guy in the driver's seat. And, a lot of people might think that, but I think over all the years that we played that, we managed to bang that into people that definitely, we were a band. And that goes the same way with WWE.
Well, I mean, I didn't want to offend or anything, but like I meant like with WWE.
That out.
Yeah, because WWE has their own like music team and like a bunch of people that they work with. So I was wondering if they had their people writing with you guys, and I don't know.
They did suggest this song and gave this to us, but they wanted us to motorize it.
Okay.
And that's what we did.
Okay.
So we did a lot of changes on that, but the basic structure was made by Triple Side, of course. They had an idea of what they wanted, and then we put our color to it, of course. And it turned out to be a great song, and what a friendship, And it was we were really honored to play on the WWE, the WrestleMania 19, and then 17, I think, and then WrestleMania 21, I think it was, right?
Yeah,
something like that at Staples Center, and in Houston was the 17.
Okay.
And it turned out to be a good relationship, and Lemmy loved Triple H, and so do me and Phil. And Triple has great respect for the band, so we started a nice camaraderie right there.
Yeah, I bought the vinyl record of it was like a Triple H anniversary something or other, and it had all the songs on the vinyl, and it was WWE packaging and all that, but it was really cool. Were you a fan of the pro wrestling? I mean, or was it just kind of?
It was a little odd for us Europeans to begin with. But I got to tell you, we were invited to a couple of their SmackDowns and stuff, and sitting at the ringside and being backstage, you realize very, very quick, these guys are and girls are really, really tough,
Yeah.
They are being banged away, really hard. And they are such trained and athletes. It's amazing. So, yes, that opened a completely new vision for us, because what you see on TV and it's all made up and theatrical, it's like a game going on, but it's pretty solid right there. They're being stitched up in the back there, and they're back out there, doing their stuff.
Yeah.
So no, it's very impressive, very impressive.
So you don't watch it kind of like now. I noticed on your social media you're watching like Family Guy during the hotel stay.
My favorite show.
Why is that? So what is it about Family Guy that pulls you in more than say like The Simpsons or like South Park or something like that?
Well, South Park was great too.
Yeah.
No, but with Family Guy, that is my humor and the way I see things. It's spot on for me because I love that they can joke about pretty much everything and then take a joke. I mean, that's how Lemmy was. That's how we are. I think it's a big problem with the fact that people being offended by every little single thing. And what is it going to come to? You can't even talk to people without watch out what you're going to be saying, because you might offend someone about the most ridiculous things,
Yeah.
I mean, what is the problem? You should be able to take a joke, and you should be able to give a joke or give out a joke. And Family Guy, they are quite brutal. I mean, not so much anymore as they were in the earlier
Yeah.
seasons, but I really do enjoy when you can joke about stuff without taking it so fucking serious all the time. And yes, you get whoa, they're joking about something that kind of hurt you a little bit, or it hits you somehow. But you go, hey, listen, I can see that. It's kind of fun. You move on. And the next time you are the guy laughing at something else or someone else, you should be able to have that common sense and respect, you know what I mean? And without going fucking bananas over every little thing people talk about. You can't use this, or you can't say that. You can't use this logo. I mean, it's ridiculous. In my world, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I don't know where it's going to end. I mean, a couple of more generations, and you lose all the humor and social connectedness, with the fact that you can say shit to each other without, people taking it to heart,
Yeah.
And I think Seth MacFarlane and Family Guy, they struck, for me, the golden goddamn vein right there. It's just so much fun. And they make such a joke about stuff that you go, oh, yeah, of course. You recognize yourself in different positions. It's just quite amazingly fun,
Yeah.
I really love it. I have to watch it every day.
I agree with you. I understand obviously that some people get offended, and sometimes people cross the line, and some people do go a little too far, but it's really, I just recently found out about flighting, which is something that the Vikings used to do. And it's something that my Cuban heritage, we do it all the time. We just call it something else. We call it chucho. But basically you're just going back and forth, insulting each other, but in a playful way. You know what I mean? And it's meant to kind of just build camaraderie and stuff,
My point is this. I really didn't say that, but it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know what I mean? It's,
right.
If you offend someone and really want to get to someone's, like that, you'll say it in a certain way. And it's meant really bad to hurt someone.
Yeah.
But you could joke around all these sensitive issues with how you say it, or how you play it out. That's how I see it, at least. We all have sore spots,
Sure.
And some people more than others, and I understand that. And the humor should not be kicking someone that is lying down. Definitely not. That's not fair. But I don't think they do that. I think they joke with black people, with white people, with Asian people, with sick, certain diseases, and certain, it's like they do it in a way with a glimpse in your eye somehow. I mean, look at Monty Python, for instance. Probably the best humor ever written. I don't know, you Americans, not all Americans get that.
I do. I respect all the entire crew. They're geniuses for sure.
Yeah, they really, really are in so many ways. And their humor is really dark and brutal sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that kind of makes it even more funny if you tell it in a respectful way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I grew up with. I grew up with, you know, the Monty Pythons, the super dark and brutal humor of like George Carlin, for example, stand-up comedian, and there's a Cuban guy called Alvarez, which was the same thing. It was just very dark and, you know, insulting, but it's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to create like a you know, a moment where you gasp like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that, but then laugh about it, not like get so aggressive.
Well, I just think that people listen more to just certain words.
Right.
They take words and sentences out of the whole picture, and they get offended by that. And if they just took a fucking second to see what the deal is, maybe they will laugh as well, you know.
Yeah.
But well, you know, humor, it's a very sensitive issue because what I'm saying here, someone say this guy seems to be completely out of his mind, you know. Sure, you cannot joke about this or this or this. Yeah, okay, maybe in your world, but in my world, depending on how you do it and how you present it, I like to live in this world. I don't like to live in this strict, you know, boxed in, claustrophobic, you know, fucking shit world where people cannot take a piss on each other a little bit without being completely mad and go nuts. And, you know, it's just not me.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I feel like it gives the words too much power. And, you know, I read a very interesting article the other day on a metal website about certain bands using certain like iconography or you know, style of clothing that's offensive to them. They're like, they relate it to, you know, some kind of like, you know, they mentioned Slayer and how Slayer uses like stuff that looks like Nazi stuff. It's like, yeah, but they're not Nazis.
Of course not.
You know what I mean? Like, come on. But it was a good article though, because it did point out how, like, you know, we need to learn how to separate those things. Like, don't give that so much power. Don't give those words that offend you so much power that they dominate your life. You're not allowing yourself to laugh and grow from it, you know?
Yeah, it's really a mystery in my mind. I mean, there is certain things you just don't joke about, and that's for sure. It just ain't funny no matter how you angle it. But I don't think a show like Family Guy, I really don't think that they touch those issues really. I mean, what they touching is just very typical, normal stuff that happens, but they make it in a very, to me, a genius way, to tell you the truth. I really love it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I wish Motorhead was on there.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like it should have happened. You know what I mean? I feel like they would have brought the characters in, but
yeah. But I give you an example. I posted. I got these Rolling Stones. You know, I don't know who makes these things, but I saw a super funny thing with Van Halen. They do a video, and there's not, when they play, and it's like silent. You can hear the shoes squeaking and guitars.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You've seen those different bands. And this Rolling Stones one is so funny. And of course you have someone writing, I don't remember exactly, just commenting something like, this is why, he didn't like it, obviously. Okay. It was, he thought that was offensive. And do you know the guys enough to put something like that? And I go, you know, I feel sorry for you, you know. Everyone watching this knows this is not Rolling Stones playing like that.
Right.
This is meant to be a joke. And I would be so honored if they did something like that with me. You know, like Charlie Watts sitting there, you can hear some kind of cowbell or something, ding, ding, you know, out of rhythm. And it's just hilarious. And strings, you know, just picking.
Messing up, yeah.
Yeah, and Mick Jagger going, ow, you know, just doing. And I said, if they would do something like that to Motorhead, I would be laughing my ass off. You
Yeah.
don't have to take yourself so serious all the time that you can't do this stuff. This is humor. It's not meant to offend anyone, and it's not meant to disrespect Rolling Stones. I have the greatest respect for a band like that, you know.
Yeah.
So these, I don't know who makes these videos, but they are absolutely so much fun, you know.
Well,
I don't
if
see
anybody,
anything wrong with that.
if anybody's watching this right now that does those videos, do one for Motorhead. Let's go.
Yeah, do a Motorhead. One of our videos when Lemmy's, you know, playing out a fucking tune and I'm missing beats, and you know, it would be hilarious, you know.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, with the release of this live album, you know, I've seen a lot of bands that have unfortunately lost like a front man or something like that, do shows like Dio does it, where they do the hologram Dio tour.
Right.
Is that something that you guys would even consider doing, or is that something that Lemmy would be against, you think?
Oh, that's a very tough question you're asking there. There's a few answers to that question. One answer is Motorhead is dead.
Okay.
As a band, as a touring band. Sorry.
Right.
What we are doing, we try to keep the name going, and because there's a huge demand out there for Motorhead still. Mm-hmm. So we working on our merchandise and on our record, like now the release, and try to keep Motorhead's name still out there, and refresh it with different stuff, and because that's what Lemmy wanted, period. And so the question is, would we go out and do something like that? I would say it's a 50-50 kind of deal from our fans' point of view. Some would think it's the most ridiculous thing ever and hate it.
Yeah.
And just see us try to milk some stuff out of a dead cow, basically, you know, and other people would appreciate that because they want to see and hear Motorhead live again.
Right.
Some shape, way, or form, you know. And a lot of youngsters that never saw Lemmy on stage or actually heard us play live, you know. Mm-hmm. That is one way of seeing it too. So it's a very sensitive matter, you know. And to tell you the truth, I can't tell you a straight answer on that. I would be honored to go out and do it, but am I doing the right thing? It has to be the right timing and the right time and mood for that, you know.
Yeah.
Me and Phil said we weren't going to do any Motorhead tribute stuff at all for X amount of years until we can feel that it's really, the hunger is there from our fans, you know, and we feel that, and I would love to go out and do that. It's okay to do that now, to do a tribute thing to Lemmy, respect to Lem and to our band that we could, and I think a lot of fans would love to hear us play through these songs. Unfortunately, not Lemmy on stage, but
right.
You can do it in so many different ways that it could be respectful and gracious, you know. But it's definitely has to be the right time and well planned, and we'll see what happens, you know. But I'm so busy with Scorpions now, so you know, if we ever had a break or so without the Corona shit, it could be a fun thing to do, you know. I don't say no to that. It's I would love to play these tracks again for an audience that enjoys it. So, you know.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the hologram idea, but I do like the idea of like bringing in people like friends of the band or somebody to sing, you know, as a tribute, like, you know, maybe with some video package or something. But the hologram technology to me, it just creeps me out. That's too much. that's too much technology. It's too creepy.
Well, that's what I mean. You were on that side.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people that said they were blown away by this Dio thing, and they love it.
Yeah.
So there you have it. It's like
Yeah.
You can't
Yeah.
win, really. It's in the end, we decide this shit, and I can only hope that, and I know we do, together with the Motorhead family, we will make the right decision on what to do, you know, and it all comes down to kind of what Lemmy would have want, or we were actually joking about this stuff, you know, and Lemmy did. That's what's funny in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Because he really did have Monty Python's humor all the way into his bones, and he said, "The day I'm gone, guys, why don't you stuff me and go on the road or something?"
Like taxidermied.
Yeah, he, you know, press buttons like that, going, you know, fuck you, give me a whiskey. Or
You get the statue from the whiskey in Hollywood, you know, just tour
no,
with the statue.
that's how Lemmy was. He said, "You guys, you can do whatever, stuff me up, and you Phil go hit the roads." You know? So, you know, and with that in the back of your head, it's, you know, what Lemmy was all about, you know, and but I'm sure we would do something nice.
Yeah.
Eventually, but as I said, it has to be the right moment, and it has to be gracious and respectful and proper, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Do you keep in touch with new band, like not like up to date? Like, is there, because to me it seems like the vibe and the energy that Motorhead used to put out, and a lot of the older bands, like, you know, the Scorpions, or, you know, there's no, I don't feel like there is that energy of rock and roll right now. Like, there's still really great music being put out, but I don't see, like, 20 years down the line, a lot of these newer bands making the kind of impact that Motorhead did. Like, is there any band right now that's newer that you've kept an eye on, that you're like, hey, those guys have potential that maybe could reach the levels?
I'm being texted here all the time. That's my boy. Holy moly, what's going on here? Yeah, there's so many good new young bands. I mean, I don't even know the name of a lot of these guys, but I hear them at festivals. You hear them. I definitely think there's bands out there that's going to continue the rock era. I mean, you know, don't forget that they will change. The feeling has changed from. I'm not an old sour, you know, pissed off man that only think that the old stuff was good. That's what I like the most. Yes, because that's where I grew up with. But if you talk to a 15-year-old today, I mean, you know, they have their visions as well. My youngest son is 18 and plays in a band in Sweden. And, you know, they have a completely different, I mean, they know so much more than me. They know more about the old stuff because they studied that, and they have access to it in a way that I never really had. And on top of that, they are really modern and looking forward and playing and writing music in a just tremendous way, you know. So, yeah, I think so. The only thing to watch out for is that the business did not have so much to say in the old days as they have today. So it's easier for young bands to be eaten up and being in the claws of the business side of it.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. If they can overcome and do their own shit and not really go just where the money is, or because it takes time to, I used to say to young bands, pray to whoever you want or whatever, but wish that you don't get like a hit song or record for maybe 2 or 3 or 4 albums, because you're never going to be able to follow that up. And you need routine and you need time to get together as a band and build that solid platform and backbone with each other, you know. So you're eventually prepared for some, you know, ups and downs. And today everything, not everything, but most of it's supposed to go very, very fast. If you miss your window of opportunity, you're gone.
Yeah.
And you're not being given a second chance. And that's what I mean. It's a very, very hard climate for young bands today. They have a lot of positive tools that we did not have. But on the other side, they're being judged extremely hard, very fast and very quick. And we did not. We had a chance. We could release a shitty record and come back and release a little bit better record. We could do a couple of shitty shows and not be out to lunch, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and younger bands really don't have that much playroom, and that's a shame, I think, you know, because it limits them to maybe grow together as a band and get some kind of routine before they're going to hit those walls, you know,
Right.
because you're going to run into walls all the time. The question is it a big black wall and you don't see the road on the other side? Or is it a big fat wall, but it's actually transparent? So you see the fucking road on the other side, which gives you the energy and the motivation to continue.
Yeah.
But this, if you only have a big black wall in front of you and you don't see what's on the other side, it could be hard sometimes to motivate yourself to push forward. And that's what I mean with a transparent wall. We had a chance to kind of work together without being ruled out so quick, you know. And but on the other hand, we did not have the tools as youngsters have today. So,
Yeah.
but if they can use the tools in the right way and stick together, they have the best chance in ever to really make a good success. And I believe a lot of bands do have that and have done it right. And it's great to see that they carry rock and roll and hard rock and great written music forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you that they have the tools to do everything, but like you said, that they are harshly judged now because everything gets out there so quickly, and everybody's attention span is so small now. You know,
use the tools right, and you will have great success with those tools. But the same tools could burn your ass, and you're out. You know.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
The last question I had for you here, you recently joined the Scorpions in 2016. I mean, I say recent, but it's not that recent.
5 years.
And you've played with King Diamond, you've played with Dokken. Like, is there any band or artist that in your head you're like, I wish I could have, played on that record or played with that band for a couple years just to experience that? Is there like a fantasy gig for you?
Yeah, there's hundreds of those guys. There's maybe not hundreds, but there is. Oh my God, there's so many bands I would love to play with or jam with, or just have an opportunity to record with, or do one show with, or just even say hello to. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, the day you sit down and think that I done all this shit and I'm fine, then it's kind of over.
Yeah.
I don't want to end up in that position, in a comfortable chair, thinking that I'm all that. No, I like to move forward all the time, and that's my big inspiration. Is I grab inspiration from other great artists and people in general, and from myself. I inspire myself sometimes. I pat myself on the back saying, Mickey, you played fucking great on this tour. You felt great and you played great. Let's continue, collect that feeling. Remember what you're doing right now, because sometimes it's easy to go out on the wrong track a little bit, and you gotta have that nice taste in your mouth, that feeling that when everything's actually rolling, And why is it rolling? Yeah, because you're doing things the right way, and that is a big ingredients in that big soup is to be inspired by other people and not just close your eyes and say, hey, I'm a fucking rock star and I'm bigger than everyone, or I'm as good as it gets, and blah 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 blah, you know. And I've never been like that. I try to, if I don't see and feel inspiration around me, I'm really out there looking for it. You know, I'm really like to enjoy other artists and enjoy other people in what they are doing and what they create and what they, their vision in general.
That's awesome, man.
For me, you know, in this very, very dark times when Lemmy passed, and obviously Motorhead is over as a touring band, brings a little bit of a weird panic in your body because you've been doing this for so long.
Right.
The question you ask yourself is, am I ready to start over again? And am I going to sit in a van with a bunch of kids chasing strippers again? No, I don't want to do that. Am I going to join some band that are so boring and outdated? No, I don't want to do that either. And what do I want to do, you know? And then something like this, like Scorpions, showed up, and that again, when it comes to inspiration, here's a band that I super respected since the 70s and really liked and enjoyed. And we have met each other over the years. We have never really hung out more than you do when you meet at festivals or shows or events. But you talk and you became friends over the years. But what inspiration to feel that I can actually go in, join this band, and make a difference. I will make a difference in a band that played 56 years, you know?
Jesus, yeah.
I think I can do something here. I can go in and add Mikkey Dee to Scorpions, and I believe they would like it. And I hope that the fans would do the same. I will try to add some heaviness to it, some energy to it, some tightness to it, a little bit of it, of course, different drum style to it, to maybe blow some more life into some of these older songs and new songs too. And that inspires you to really, wow, you know, I'm sitting up there on stage still today, you know, just enjoying Klaus' vocals, and I see Matthias and Rudolph running around like fucking nutcases on stage. and I'm locking into Pavel with bass, playing with Pavel, which is more a traditional bass player than what Lemmy was. And playing 25 years with Lemmy was the biggest school I gone through, to tell you the truth. But here I'm playing with Pavel, which now again, going back to the more traditional bass and drummer way of playing, you know? Yeah. And I just can't explain it better than that. And what an inspiration and what a challenge, if you will, you know, to go out there with a new family, and they have a new family member, and you're supposed to click. Yeah. You have to learn how to push at the right spot and back off at the right spot, you know, and you respect their ways, and hopefully they respect my ways. Sure. And back and forth, you throw that ball, and in the end, it clicks really nice. But we felt it from the beginning that we were on something good here, you know. Yeah. I really went up on stage and said, look, I'm going to fucking play my ass off here. It ain't going to be, you know, meat and potato or fucking Swedish meatballs. It's going to be serious. I'm going to rock my ass over here, and hopefully you guys follow me, what I'm pushing for here, you know, and they did. That's good. So, that's good. Yeah. Cause you don't want to just join the band and do it exactly how it is on the record too. Cause it's, you know, you want to add your flair to it, your speed, your energy, you know,
Yeah.
Well, you know, I could easily jump in any band and sit there and be a background drummer.
Yeah.
I'm just not that character. I take a lot of space. With King Diamond, with Dokken, with Motorhead, I had a position. I mean, Lemmy was pushing me and Phil all the time. That's what we were on to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted 3 front persons on stage. And that's how I see myself. Look, I'm just not a drummer sitting back there tapping away. I'm a drummer that play so hard. After 30 seconds, I'm soaked. I'm really stoked.
Yeah.
And I want the energy to transfer to the audience and to my bandmates. When they come around looking at me, it looks like I just came out of the shower and I'm just grinning to them and giving them the fist. Fucking go, you know?
Yeah.
That is hard rock for me.
Yeah. No, I feel that, and that's one of my appeals ever since I was a kid to hard rock and metal. Is just that energy, like you said, you're connecting the dots. Everybody in the band is connecting together, and it's kind of like a generator making this energy that's now being pushed back into the audience, and the audience needs to accept it. You know what I mean? And take that energy and go with it too. That's why you get the mosh pits and the crazy people stage diving and all that stuff. So. It's
a very, very important deal to be able to generate that and to have that feeling around you that you have to glow on stage. And with Motorhead, I believe we did that every single show, you know.
Yeah.
We had a couple of horrible shows, just a few, but it was because of someone being sick or some, you know, we had a few dodgy shows, but I think I played close to 5,000, and I can say we maybe had 2 or 3 shows where I think we sucked ass, you know. and that's pretty damn.
That's a good ratio. Yeah, it's a good record. Yeah, there's no perfect, you know, band, and you know, that goes for everything. Like every, you know, wrestling, or you look at like a boxer, you know, somebody who's undefeated forever. Eventually, they'll have one bad night. It's gonna happen. You know what I mean? But that people can't judge the legacy, the 5,000 other shows that you did that were amazing. You know?
Yeah, no, they don't. And with Motorhead, we actually built a very, very high average. And that's the hardest thing to do. We were not so much for, like, yeah, of course you played LA or New York or London or Tokyo or some really high profile city on a Saturday night, tons of celebrities, tons of rock stars, and, you know, a lot of press, and the hype is really high. And then on Sunday morning, you're in some fucking shithole, you know, and you had to even play better on Sunday. We didn't care for having a 10 and then a 4 and then a 6 and then a 7 and then a 10 again and then a 2. You know, we enjoyed having a good 7 or 8 every single night. And that's the hardest thing to do, to create that, get that
consistency.
Kind of level.
Yeah, the consistency.
Consistency. And that we did have with Motorhead. There's no doubt about that. And that's what I'm probably most proud of when it comes to the live shows, because people ask me, like you didn't, I guess, but a lot, what's the best kind of show, any special memories? I said, close to 5,000 shows.
Yeah.
Close to 5,000 shows. If it was East Lansing, Michigan, or Madison Square Garden, or LA, you know, or Tokyo, Budokan, or Wembley in London, or Leeds in England. I mean, you know, some dinky place. They were great 8s, all of them. Yeah. And that's very important.
Yeah, it's hard to do, and that's the reason the band is as legendary as it is, the reputation that it has. It's because you guys do that, because that's a very difficult thing to do. Like you said, between travel, people get sick, other family issues or whatever can affect your performance on stage. But as long as you can, cut that off, and when you're on stage, you give it your 100, no matter where you are or who you're performing in front of. And that's something I learned when I was in a band, playing in front of like 10, 15 people. It's like, yes, it's only 10 or 15 people, but do 100%, because you don't know who those 10 or 15 people are. Maybe one of those people own a record label, or they own a venue, and now they want you to do a show here. So it's always important to give it 100% as much as possible. And you guys did a really good job of that.
I kind of see it a little bit different. I agree with what you're saying, but if I played in front of 10 people, I didn't really care who was in the crowd. But here we have 10 people that want to see you.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You have to deliver. And if 10 people paid a ticket, you got that, they paid for it. I don't care if it was the Queen of England or the local fucking hillbilly sitting, but they decide to come and see you. Now I'm going to show you what I can do. True. That's it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, kind of, but.
Yeah, no, yours is better actually in terms of caring about the fans. It's a more humble.
I believe that is the most important thing.
Yeah.
The day you lose that, but most people do play for their fans, of course. I don't know any band, to tell you the truth, that doesn't. But then how much they care or how little, that could vary, of course.
Right.
But I know that Motorhead, we have one of the most solid fan base in the world, and we felt that, and we also know that our fans know that we never ever went on stage or went out to disappoint them on purpose or create, not being ready, if you will. We were ready for every night, and then we could give 150, 200%. But the night was just not a good night. That's a different story,
Yeah, that's different.
That is a different story.
Yeah.
And you can't blame anyone for that. Sometimes I could go backstage after a show, go, oh, the fucking audience sucked today. and then you think, why did they suck? Last time we were here, this was the most crazy audience on the whole fucking tour.
Yeah.
And then you have to go back to yourself. Did I deliver the way I should? And sometimes you go, well, I probably didn't, I did not glow, as I said to you, I didn't do that. Maybe I was a little too fucking tired today. Maybe the party last week kicked my ass. All right, you got to get back into shape here, Focus again, Mick. Fucking no more parties for a little while. Let's go back to the fucking drawing board here and concentrate on getting back into the real deal here. And that's how I've been thinking the whole time. I see it as a monopoly board. You go back through go.
Yeah.
And I don't like to run through there. I like to stop and think sometimes, am I on the right path here, or have I dwindled off in any direction, which is not good, because I know I'm gonna have to turn around and go back and start over then.
Yeah.
I really want my drums. I want to be great on stage when they come and see me and expect something. I want to be able to deliver that. If I don't do that, I have to start questioning myself, like, what's going on here? Because I've done tours where it's been a little bit too much party, and I walk on stage a little tired, and I felt that I had to work really extra hard to become average. And I don't enjoy that. It's supposed to be fucking easy for me, and then I say, hey, listen, Mikkey Dee, no more party. This is it. You got to fucking get back into this glowing energy I know that I have. And obviously I have not maybe glowed enough because I have maybe not enjoyed certain shows enough or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's not many of those. I'm not going to exaggerate here, but they are coming up over the years here and there. And it's very important for you as a musician to realize that you are maybe dwindling off here in some gray zone where you're not supposed to be. And then you got to go back to where you are at the best, you know, and that's very important for me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's natural, you know, as you progress in age and time passes that, you know, things start to get a little shaky. You're not partying anymore still, are you? Are you still like, yeah, you still party? All right.
Well, I party hard. But I pick my moments. Pick my moments. I party responsibly. And
party responsibly.
I enjoy party. I'm a very social guy. You know, I have friends all over the world, and I really, really do enjoy touring and meeting my friends. The only problem is that every city you come to, they go, "Oh, Mick, you only here one day every year." And I go, "Yeah, but tomorrow I'm in a different city." And they say the same thing. So I have to pick my moments, of course, you know, and where I feel that I'm up running, I'm playing great, I have no problems, everything's rolling. Yeah, you have a Friday off, a Saturday off, a Thursday or a Wednesday or a good night off, and I meet friends and have fun, you know, and then it's back to reality again. I don't let it take me away, you know, and that's been very important since King Diamond days.
Yeah.
Because we were young and really crazy those days, and I had to grab myself several times, say, "Hey, mellow out a little bit here, Mikkey Dee. You're taking off in the wrong direction here, and it's only your drumming that's going to be suffering from this." So
well, you're very fortunate that you were able to find the clarity to do that to yourself and kind of pull back, because that happens to a lot of people. You know, we've lost a lot of musicians, young musicians, like that were partying way too much, and had no way to pull back, nothing to bring them back to say, "Hey, take a break, you know, take a day off from the partying and focus on what you're doing." But thankfully, you had that, you know.
Yeah, but for me, it's been fairly simple because it comes down to one thing, and I'm talking about myself now. No fucking drugs.
Yeah.
I don't want that. My alarm clock, as I call it, I don't want my alarm clock to not work, you know. I want that fucking thing to ring and tell me what I've been telling you, like, "Hey, Mikkey Dee, you know, time to mellow out a little bit here, because your drumming is starting to suffering, possibly." I don't think the audience so much see and feel this, but I feel it, you know.
Yeah.
And if I keep letting it go like that, yes, then I'll drop pretty quick. But for me, drugs have never been an option. I do enjoy every kind of beer in the world, and that's where I feel comfortable. I'm not promoting alcohol here, but
sure,
I definitely, for myself, I can enjoy it and have and do well touring stuff.
Well, we've been talking for an hour, so I have one final question now, since you said you like every beer. What's your favorite style of beer? Are you a German Pilsner guy, or are you experimenting with the American, like IPAs and stuff like that?
Not really. I'm pretty boring. Light lager beer. My favorite is one of my favorites. I love Canadian Labatt's.
Oh, okay. All right.
And Kronenberg, 1664, San Miguel, Spanish beer, and a French beer, Kronenberg. And there's great beers everywhere. But a light lager beer, I really like.
Cool.
And then once in a while, an IPA or some kind of a German, very strong Pilsner or something. You know, it could be good. Austrian Gösser is a very flavorful beer, you know, from Austria.
Yeah.
So no, but that's cool. But that's me, and yeah, I think that's been important for me, as I said, to be able to handle myself and to. I don't think I will be sitting here otherwise after 40 years touring constantly.
Yeah. No, thankfully that's the problem with the young artists that I party too hard was definitely the drugs, man. It definitely it takes hold of you, changes your entire chemistry. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I have had too many friends, not necessarily die, but lost their careers and their whole. And Lemmy was fantastic with that. He told me, any young person starting with drugs today got to be a fucking idiot, he said. Because they know where it's going to end up.
Yeah.
They experimented in the 60s, and he said, most of my friends are dead today. They had no idea what they were doing. And he said, starting today with drugs, you got to be a complete idiot. That's how he started. And he told me when I joined the band, he said, if I ever see you do drugs, Mick, I'm surely going to fucking fire you. I was too energetic to begin with. So he said, I can't have you on drugs. He enjoyed me just being fucking energetic as it was,
Hell yeah. Well, hey, Mickey, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for, giving me an hour of your time. I'm very excited to get people to listen to this live recording. Like I said, I got an advanced copy, which is amazing. Comes out April 23rd, Motorhead, Louder Than Noise, live in Berlin. Also excited to hear what you're going to do with the Scorpions. I'm curious to hear your touch on their music. And you said there's no time frame. You guys are still kind of in the middle of it, yeah?
No, we're almost done. I mean,
Almost
recordings are pretty much done. We have a few more, maybe a week more of recordings and, some loose ends. But this album has been recorded live, as I said, and it's a great feeling, we're all playing live together, every song. And then, of course, you do solos and vocal on top of that and stuff. But all the basic tracks, everything is live. So it's kind of back to a pretty cool deal,
Awesome. Well, keep an eye out for that, guys, and everybody that's watching and listening. What's your preferred social media for people to follow you? Twitter or Instagram?
No, I follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Mikkey Dee Official. Okay. I do put out little videos from the studio, and I put out one my quarantine here. Quarantine for a week. We were in this fucking room for 7 days, walking up and down here, me in my room and Pavel in the other. Not because we were sick, but we had to follow rules and be in quarantine for a week. And I do little videos all the time and put them out on my Instagram and Facebook and stuff.
All right, and that's Mikkey
Dee Official.
Mikkey Dee Official, Mikkey, for those that are listening, and D is with DEE. Thanks again, man. It's been an honor to have you on. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. See you on the road.
Yeah.